Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's me, Sean Tank Top, and I'm over here to let you guys know that we are doing Watchers in the Bar podcast. We're going to be doing these all throughout Game of Thrones season, and it's a little bit of preview that you guys can expect on the podcast. I just wanted to give you guys one full episode. As you know, we do a fair amount of drinking over at the Burlington while we watch Game of Thrones, so we decided to throw together a fun little concept that we call GOT Drinking Buddy. With me, Morgan, Max, and Dustin, we kind of knocked all of our heads together and tried to come up with a comprehensive list of the best people to drink with in Westeros and those salty motherfuckers that you probably have to kick out at the end of the night. You want to keep hearing stuff like that all throughout Season 8, do not hesitate to hit us up on Watchers in the Bar, anywhere you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Libsyn, Stitcher, anywhere you can find them, we got them.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Watchers in the Bar podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dustin Drace.
I'm Morgan Drace.
Max Hansgen.
And I'm Sean Tank Top, and when we're not wondering if the dog on the front of the can of mug root beer is spayed or neutered, we are bar industry people talking about the wrong industry.
The entertainment industry.
The entertainment industry.
Da, 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 da.
So, as you are, unless you're living under a rock, you are aware that there's this little show called Game of Thrones, which is coming back here in April.
It's offensive to people who live under rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Even they watch it, too. They got to watch something.
Unless you're an underground chud person.
Oh my gosh.
You may not be aware of such things.
Right.
But we here at the Watchers in the Bar podcast, we are big Game of Thrones fans, and we know that we have many other fans as well. So we decided to do a little quick segment today where we wanted to talk about which Game of Thrones character we would most want to have a drink with.
Because that's part of what we do. We have drinks with everybody in this show because we've been drinking and watching this show together since season 4. Gone through a lot of bad times, gone through a lot of good times drinking. But if we go around, who would we want to kick it with? Couple beers, couple shots.
We're cross-pollinating our entertainment love with our industry experience.
Yes, it is experience.
And going by American politics, this also means we want to rule because apparently, if you want to have a beer with them, that's a thing.
Oh, that's true. That's how you
got to.
Yeah, you got to be
I
able to
can't
have
a beer with you. Get out.
Right. So everybody that we pick is going to be presidential.
I don't want a president I can get fucking housed with, and then we end up at a Taco Bell drive-thru. That's what I want.
Hammered drunk.
It's a goddamn dream.
Yeah.
Right. So, did anybody want to go first?
Max, you go first. You got one.
Baby? I mean,
come on.
Really?
Bron.
I mean,
really? Somebody who can hold their liquor, tell good stories, serenade me with song. I mean, it's fucking Bran, of course, obviously. The whole trio, the heroes of Blackwater, I would want to drink with.
Yeah.
Tyrion, Pod, Bran.
Yeah.
Trio
that's
would
a
be
good
great.
trio.
Yeah.
I would love it. I mean, that's the dream team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more characters I wouldn't want to drink with than there are I'd want to drink with.
For sure.
Love the Hound, wouldn't want to drink with him.
Nope.
He goes to a dark place.
Yeah, just immediately.
Right.
He's that friend that always gets in a fight every time they get drunk, and you're like, oh come
my
on,
God.
man.
Dude, I remember I had one of those back when I was in college. I remember my buddy, it came down to when I got to I think it was my 5th or 6th fight that I had gotten roped into inside of
literally
3 months or something. I was just I told him, I said, dude, I love you. I'm going to I'm gonna Homer Simpson Bush back away from the next one.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. You're starting fights over St. Louis Cardinals versus Cubs.
Right, yeah.
Rivalry. I'm not. I
Putting
can't.
all shit that doesn't matter
All
in the
that,
grand scheme of the universe.
Exactly, right. And it's I mean, and so I totally, I'm totally in with that.
Yeah, but going out pounding some brewskis, definitely the three heroes of the Blackwater. I'd like to get a nice
Blackwater Boys.
Yeah, the Blackwater Boys. For a maybe a brunch with mimosas special. I'm gonna say Qyburn.
What? No way.
Because I want to know cool stuff.
No, he would stick something in your drink. The next thing you know, you're on an examination table with your.
I have Richard Nixon levels of paranoia. I wouldn't let that happen. I would not let that happen.
Tell you what, I'm saying drinks for those goddamn Qyburns.
Qyburn's my guy I would kick out of my bar because he's just gonna be a close talker and ask people uncomfortable questions. Like
he's gonna be the devil in the White City.
what does your stool look like? Like he would. He would.
Can I have your stool
He's
at
a
the
man
end?
I
of
have a
science.
sample.
Yeah.
Like
Man of science, but you would want to kick it with him because he'd
I want to know, how'd you bring the mountain back to life? You know, like I
he
wanna,
wouldn't tell you. He'd be like, "Let me show you," and he would like come in this room.
Morgan, I'm not stupid enough to go alone in a room with him. That's why I said we'd be a brunch special. We'd be in a patio, outdoor, sunlight witnesses.
He would
Right,
never
exactly,
let it
yeah,
happen.
exactly.
He would never let it happen.
Yeah, probably.
You have a trap door under your chair. He'd be like, "Boop."
Whoa! Yeah. Fuck.
Telling you, don't get drunk or even have a single drink with Qyburn, because no.
I mean, yeah, he's mischievous, but he's also like, he's not gonna sneak up on me. He's an old man.
He might.
It's true.
Although he might hire a homeless kid to shank me.
Oh my
I did
Oh my
just
God,
remember. I
you're-
did just remember that. Okay, I take it back. Fuck Qyburn.
All right. I don't know. What about you?
I got one. See, I would be, you know what? I would want to drink in the north because they have all the cold to make your drinks cold. Cause
Your
in
beer
the south,
staying cold.
In the south, you just got to get wine drunk, which is not as fun as it sounds. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
fuck all the red
I'm
wine,
a
like,
white wine and
yeah.
prosecco if I'm gonna get wine drunk, and that's gotta be cold. Yeah, so I need something cold, so it's gotta be in the north. And I'm actually gonna go with the show here. I actually really was digging the Molestown whores. That one scene when you meet that one kind of creepy lady, even though she was kind of an asshole to Gilly. I feel like their whole vibe is because they have the upper hand on all those like Night's Watch boys. It's less sad, and I feel like if you know, some of their favorite regulars could join in. So only the Night's Watch boys who are nice, they could join in. But it's like hanging out with those Molestown whores. Like, you got ice everywhere, you got cold beer. They seem like a blast. Like, I would hang out.
That they got a couple of good goddamn stories.
Yeah, that fucking tavern and like just seemed like a good time.
Sure.
And not sad until they all got murdered, which
Right.
was kind of a bummer. But no, I would get drunk there. And yeah, like I'm saying, I'm like, no, Qyburn and the Hound is another one. You don't get him drunk because he goes to dark places.
Sure.
And he has a friend with him every time. They're like, you know, you go to dark places. Just stop. Just stop. And
That
he
is one of
doesn't.
you do have one of your buddies that kind of goes to the dark side sometimes.
Yeah.
You're just like, come on, buddy. Like,
Every fucking time you're
Yeah.
crying with
Sean, I'm sitting right here.
crying with a sword in your mouth. Like, we cannot do this every Friday night,
Right.
buddy.
Oh
Like,
God, yeah, I know that's the friends that you can't fucking
can't take them anywhere.
Yeah, you want to have a good time, but then they're fucking falling down. They're crying,
and,
they're just like, yeah.
because like all of us are kind of like you said, we're like Liam Neeson of drinking. Where it's like I've acquired a certain set of skills over a very long career, and like you know how to fucking handle that shit, and you just kind of turn into a mother hen.
Yeah.
When that stuff starts to happen.
you're like,
You know
God
what I
damn
mean?
it, now I gotta like keep it together, and I can't.
Oh man, you gotta hold the Hound up when he's wasted, trying to help him home. That'd be
No,
cool.
I kick the Hound into a fucking gutter. Because he's the Hound. No, I love him.
Current Hound?
No,
Current Hound's a
not
nice
out of
fella.
meanness. Not out of meanness. Just that he'll be fine.
He'll be
Like,
fine.
No
That's
one's
true.
gonna fucking murder
Yeah,
him because
right.
he's the fucking Hound. He's a killing machine.
You know who'd be the biggest
absolutely.
bummer is going drinking with Stannis.
Oh, he wouldn't
God.
even drink.
Like he would be like, yeah, he'd be the one that would like order a soda water and then just brood. And you're just like,
and like you
dude.
can't like you keep trying to get something going, and or it's like drinking with like a cousin that's like 10 years older than you and super awkward.
Dustin,
And
you
know
have a
what I'm
bunch
saying?
of
Like,
Mormon
Yeah, he'd
family.
go to
I just got nothing to say.
He'd go to the
Don't
pool
out me.
table and just start like giving unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
You know, I fucking hate like, man, if there's one bar wretch stereotype I fucking hate, not even stereotype, these people exist by the million. But just like the guy, and I would count a few of these as friends, but like it's like, gosh, shut the fuck up. Like where you're like, you know, like a car will pull up or something, like a Cadillac or something. You're like, oh, that's a nice Cadillac. And then they just start talking about like, oh, I bet it has like a V8 engine and this and that. And they're like, they're fucking expert on everything. Like,
And that's what Stance would be. It's like, did you know that like I'm like Azor Ahai and like I have like a flaming sword? And
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be I'm the prince that was promised. And you're
Yeah,
like,
and a quick anecdote. I was hungry at work the other night. There's a new spot next to us. They have like an elote burger. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's an elote on a burger.
Nice.
You know, it's a little overpriced, but they gave me a discount because I work next door.
Yeah.
And you know, this type of person who is like, oh, how much that cost? I was like, it's a little pricey, but they knocked it down. I'm like, whatever, I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, I could have I could whip that up real quick. And he's like the expert, and I'm like, well, then shut the fuck up and do it.
Well,
Bring me a fucking burger next time. Don't fucking tell me about how you think the burger next door is overpriced.
Go home and get cooking.
Yeah, get your ass in the kitchen then. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, is it here? No. Okay,
Is it
bye.
here? Yeah, the people next door gave me the burger I wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. What do you got, Dustin?
I'm gonna go with Salladhor San.
Oh yeah. Of
'Cause-
course.
Again, who the fuck is Salladhor?
It's
Well, he's the
Davos's
pirate.
pirate smuggler buddy.
Oh,
Because you know that dude's getting
I
all
don't
the
want to
best.
rape her. I want to fuck her.
Yeah, he's
Right,
getting
yes.
all the best shit. He knows all the best spots.
Yeah.
That guy can bribe his way into anywhere. So like you know
Yeah.
that like you're not just drinking on a
Right.
boat. You're drinking in like the coolest places. Like
he
he's
would
been
have,
everywhere.
Like, a traveling show on Discovery
Yeah.
in Westeros.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for sure.
And he always dresses real cool. So you know he's like, all right, that guy knows where to party. So like,
And as we heard, he's not into rape. He's into super enthusiastic consent.
which
Sure.
I'm sure I bet he could get a yes out of Cersei because she might just be like, well, fuck it. You look like fun.
yeah, you look like a peacock. Let's do
Ew,
it.
look
Yeah,
at you.
right?
Yeah,
For
like
sure.
you know that guy's got like he's like
Just
yo,
can you do you mind putting on this blonde wig?
yeah.
Yeah. But also, like,
He's
even
going to get smurfed.
Oh.
I don't know. He seems like a dude. Even if you said no to him, you're like, it's cool. Maybe I'm
Like,
gonna go down
like
the
that's the
street.
guy that knows where to get a good shot of Malort. You know, like that's
Yeah,
the guy
he
who's like,
knows,
oh, come
no,
to
he
this
would be like,
port.
I will tell you one thing right now. I have the one place in Westeros that has Malort, and it's very, very rich, and I can take you there.
yeah, it's like
Ah.
that's the guy that I'd want to party
Yep.
with.
Oh, man, that's a great
Who
one. That's
wouldn't
a
you want to party with?
Well, I said Stannis because
Oh, you already said
Stannis would bum
You're
me out.
right. You're right. Never mind.
I would say Varys. I wouldn't want to drink with.
Because he would pretend to get drunk because he's an
Yeah,
ex-mummer.
he would
but
be using
wouldn't.
mocktails.
Yeah,
And he would pretend to get drunk with you and then get your
He'd
secrets.
get shots of water and be like, "Oh, you look like you're having a hard time, buddy." And then
Yeah.
like his little sparrows would come around. And
I would love, or you'd become one. You'd become,
Yeah.
like on the surface, I would love to drink with the spider because he's an interesting guy. But then, like 3 hours later, I've got like
You're spilling all your
I have
secrets.
I'm not spilling the secrets. I have a note shoved up my ass that I have to smuggle out of the city. I'm covered in the blood of a stranger, and I'm like, how did he convince me to do this?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
for the good of the realm.
The greater good.
But who has like the best?
You have to put a
That
note
fuck,
in
hot
your.
fuzz.
You must pay.
The greater good.
But who do you,
You
think
must
I would have
place-
like the best bar stories? Because like who would be like do you think like Barristan Selmy is obviously a celebrated warrior, but I don't think he would be like the best one.
Davos would have some fucking.
I
good
think
ones.
Davos would be
Davos
cool.
would have
Davos would have
stories.
some really good.
Like
ones.
good
Bron
battle stories.
Bron would have good
Bron.
ones.
Yeah,
Tyrion would have good ones.
Tyrion. Yeah, Bron. Everyone forgets. Like, he very offhandedly mentioned, like in the first season when they're playing the drinking game, that he's been north of the Wall. You know.
Yeah.
Like
right.
He's been drinking in that, what was
Also,
that
Bron's
town?
probably the best singer because Jerome Flynn also an actual singer.
lovely. voice.
Literally.
But so yeah, so like I
actually
think he would be the kind of guy where he'd get the whole bar to do a sing along. Like
Oh,
yeah, so
man.
I mean Bron would be the shit.
I think.
Oh, could you see Bron after a Hawks game? Just da 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 da.
Yes, yes, I can.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be
Sean,
great.
I think it's your turn.
You know what I would, I was talking about this before. It's a little bit of a long shot. You might have to be careful around him, but he's also too much of a fucking pussy to do anything, without like with somebody's permission first or whatever it is, and he's easily manipulatable. But he's also a sly little wiry weird motherfucker, dude. Pycelle. I would go drinking with motherfucking Maester Pycelle. That
guy's got a
is
see-through robe.
That guy is sly. You want to talk about some motherfucker that he like fuck the bars. That guy's taking you some speakeasies where he can really stretch his legs.
Yeah,
his
yeah.
weird legs with like he's one of those guys.
he's doing
like
dances and shit.
oh man, like he's like the he'd be the fuck he'd be the guy who's like, I'm gonna take you like off the grid. Like I got the speakeasy down the way. We can handle that stuff. Like I am
He's got the
so
access,
secretly
yeah.
down. You know what I mean? Like, and he'd be one of those guys that I would think would be fun. That's actually kind of a little bit of a fib, but
I feel like
But I
you
feel
could
like that guy's
find
got access though. I think he's like not cool, but he's like
upper echelons. He's the one that gets you to the rooftop
yeah.
bar.
I
Then
feel
you'll
like
ditch him once you're there.
there's gotta be somebody cooler. Like, you could just go find a highborn Dornishman to get you to, like, the fucking orgies if you really want to
Well,
go to
I mean, actually, because the other one that was going to be one. The other one
Oh,
that I was going to
sorry.
think of.
Oh,
No, like my
Sorry, stepped on your
real
toes.
one would be the Prince of Dorne.
Doy.
It would be
Oh yeah, Oberyn.
Oberyn Martell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
You
that.
did.
I think I would steer clear of any of the Dornishmen because that could just go. It'd be like going to Vegas and getting like you could just fall in deep in
Yeah,
Dorne.
you're not wrong. I mean, like, or like, it's like, oh man, we went out for one drink with Oberyn Martell, and I woke up in Dorne 6 years later with like a wife and 2 kids, and and
they're
that's just
all
the ones that I know
poly.
about. You know what I mean? Like, and a gambling addiction. Like I'm with that, but like he would definitely be kind of like that, like rip roaring rock star. You'd have to be a little careful around him because he can fly off the handle, especially if you start talking about his sister. You have to kind
Yeah.
of keep him away from that
Yeah,
subject.
yeah, don't
But
get
if
him
you
around
don't,
Lannisters, yeah.
if you don't, like, I mean, you are living it the fuck up.
Hey, have you ever seen this mountain? What did you say? What about mountains?
No. It's this Ice Mountain Water. You look really hungover, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
ice,
yeah.
It's like you don't say that name.
No, we don't talk
So
about
as bar professionals, who do you think was the most likely to get thrown out of your bar?
This is the second half.
Tormund Giantsbane.
like almost all of them.
Yeah.
like,
Tormund
yeah,
Giantsbane.
Tormund.
He leers really long.
Oh.
He does. I mean, because everybody's like,
Stares
oh yeah,
at women,
everybody,
he likes.
everybody loves Tormund, but he's like always imposing himself on fucking Brienne's space, and she has never given him any fucking inkling that she's romantically involved with him at all. He would be the guy that you'd have to come. Like, I would get like she would send her friend, or she would come over and she'd be like, hey, this guy's kind of making me uncomfortable, and
keeps
then I'd be
staring
like,
at
all right,
me,
hey,
yeah.
like, all right, gal, don't worry about it. I got to come over, and I would either have to come over. It's like, hey, Mr. Giantsbane, we appreciate your patronage and everything like that, but you just gotta make sure that you're keeping, your gaze in your own space, and you gotta respect that. If you can't do that, then you're gonna have to leave.
Yeah.
And he would definitely be one of those
Oh, for
guys.
And
sure.
he'd throw a
It's like,
punch.
I know that you're not a bad dude, but you cannot do it this way, and you gotta
Yeah.
respect
How many
that.
times have we had to tell people?
Oh
that
my god!
throwing
I mean,
people
like, where it's
yeah.
just like this isn't a fucking like an '80s action movie where you can just make a couple eyes across the bar and you got it, kid. It ain't like that shit no more. It never was. Like, it was. You got. It's like if
It was
that's
a
happening.
lie. You were sold as
That's
a
what I'm saying.
child.
Yeah, you just got to get on over. So like, yeah. So he'd probably be one of those ones that I would have to kick out like on the reg.
Yeah.
But hopefully would be able to maybe
Hopefully
learn
he
his
would
lesson and
learn.
yeah. I think he's
mean,
capable of learning. I think he's
Yeah.
capable of learning. What do you got, Max?
I got the one. There's one I would personally get the most pleasure from kicking out, and then there's one that we'd all agree should get kicked out, but I'd be like I would be because I'm a door guy, and like there are sometimes you gotta gauge it, and you're like, because sometimes people are.
This guy looks dangerous, man.
Yeah, that one for me would definitely be the Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because he does before he became a zombie, he was described as like a heavy drinker, shitty fucking attitude, horrible fucking
And like
person.
he would get drunk, and the more times that he would, the meaner that he would
But
get.
then
Yeah.
this is a
Time when-
situation where like I can't do anything but call the cops.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I
Yeah.
can do.
Right.
All the gold cloaks.
Yeah, right. One time a guy almost fucking smashed a candle over my head, and this guy had about a solid 1.5 feet on me, and I was just like, I'm not dying over this shit tonight.
No, yeah. Yeah.
If you are that person, you are listening to this, I really hope you got to stand over your own mother's deathbed, and I hope her last words were that she fucking hates you.
Wow.
If you are that person.
If you're,
And you remember me. Yeah.
Right.
But
So apparently Max is now my new answer that I would kick him out immediately.
the one
No,
I
that
would
guy,
get,
fuck that
the
guy,
one I
dude.
would get the most pleasure from kicking out would be Jaime fucking Lannister because he's just River North trash.
Oh, okay.
I could see that.
I love putting yuppies in their fucking place
He's
when
a
they
very
overstep
much,
it.
yeah. You're
Like-
not. He's Gold Coast.
Yeah.
He's Gold Coast 100%.
Yeah, Viagra Triangle all the fucking way. yeah, him or Joffrey, any of the Lannister people.
Ah,
And-
Joffrey would be real sweet.
Joffrey would be a lot of
You
fun.
would
Oh,
like-
he'd be the one with a fake ID that would be just giving you so much fucking static.
No, he'd be like, it's like, do you know who my dad is? He
Yeah.
owns a dealership.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
Justin
Owns
Bieber.
a
Imposing
dealership.
beard.
Oh man.
I would say Robert Baratheon.
Kick
I
him
can see
out?
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that guy? Because, like, he
Yeah.
would come in and he would just be, like, loud and annoying and buying shots for everybody. And you're like, oh, come
It's
on.
one of the it's
Like,
like one of
it's-
those ones where you ride the line a little bit.
Yeah, and then he would just get too far, and he would
He'd
like fall
grab a
off.
lady.
He'd grab a lady, he'd fall off a bar stool.
Yeah.
Something would go wrong.
He'll let the boar in the bar, and then
Yeah.
the boar just nails.
Yeah,
right.
it would just be he'd pay people to start a fight in the corner, like
Yeah.
he would just that kind of guy.
100%. There are some of those guys where they come in, like we get them from this one. We have this kind of more yuppier type of a sports bar that's down the street from the Burlington that just opened up a couple years ago. I'm not going to name names, but y'all have Google Maps. If
You
you're
can
gonna
figure it out.
Yeah, and there are people that run it are nice, but like the clientele is just like a bunch of insane, like you're saying, yuppie fish people, and like so they roll in, and I'm like they're shit faced, and I'm just like, or they're amped up, and they're like it's like I want 5 beers, 5 shots. It's like $50 worth of thing, and I'm like I'm gonna make a lot of money off this guy, and I'm gonna get to kick him out in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like
That's the thing. You can always tell. Where you're like,
you can kind of see
You
it.
can tell. I can tell the minute you walk in.
Of course.
Yeah, and
Yeah. You pretty much got it.
It's like a sixth sense,
You know
yeah.
who'd be like the one you think you need to kick out, but then every couple minutes you're like, oh no, he's actually okay. Thoros of Mir.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get
Or it's
those
like, hey,
in
buddy,
the
you can't be
cold.
false.
You're like he's gonna pass out any minute. No, he's still going.
Oh
like,
no! We used to get this guy that would have these big headphones and he'd be watching shit on his phone.
Remember
You
that guy?
know that guy.
So weird.
I kept waiting for him to like get himself kicked out because he was always seemed really drunk. And sometimes I think he was asleep, and then I'd look and he was like, "Nope, watching YouTube."
Yeah, just watching YouTube.
And he would just drink for so long, and I kept waiting for him to fall off his bar stool. Nope, just watching YouTube.
Old Iron Sides with the headphones over
Quiet
there.
as shit, and then he would just he'd like give you a little drunken wave and be out the door at closing time, and I was like, wow,
there's
that guy.
How about you, Morgan? What do you got? Do you got one more?
Oh, I mean, there's a million.
There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's like almost half the cast.
Basically,
show,
basically the entirety of the mutiners of the who took over Craster's Keep.
Oh, Carl fucking Tanner.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
guy.
and
Dude.
it's
oh,
like
sure.
all of him and
Absolutely.
his minions, like you get drinks in them and you give them a little bit of freedom and they're like, rape them till they're dead. Okay, wrap it up. All right, see, I'll get your
Okay,
Ubers.
These gentlemen could you please show these gentlemen to the door?
Yeah.
No, for real. You give anyone who's given a little bit of freedom and they go fucking buck with it. I can't. Like, you have to be able to handle your freedom. So it's like, you have your Bronze, who he can handle his freedom. Night's Watch kids, they just cannot. Some of them can, but some of them...
Probably what got him into the Night's Watch in the first place.
Yeah. Nobody goes to the Night's Watch because it's
not
a
too
great
many-
opportunity.
No.
Except for
Rod is the
Sam.
exception
Pip
to that
and
rule, for sure.
Pip and Gren, they were fine. And Dolores Ed, they weren't
And then
rapers.
like everybody else was like,
Everyone else was rapers.
but like I think to say probably would we all say Max Dillinger like Bron's like probably number one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nice to hear him
'cause-
get credit.
Well,
Seriously though, I mean
He
like
gets
him or
credit.
Tyrion I think would be like the 1 and 2.
Tyrion would just have
honestly.
a little bit of
You know,
that
you're-
highborn shit.
You're in the bar and you're with any number of Game of Thrones characters. Things are going great. All of a sudden, a fucking dragon starts flying over the bar. Who do you want to be in the bar when that happens?
Oh
Come on,
right, absolutely.
come on.
Okay, I thought
He
you were
would
saying, I thought you were
slam his drink down and wipe
Oh.
his mouth. He'd be like, I got this.
You want to know somebody that you wouldn't necessarily have to kick out, but you would have to cut off? Daenerys Targaryen.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
Probably a little
God.
bit. It's like all of a sudden, like it's like the chick that like loses her phone, and you're like, honey, I don't know.
I don't have it.
I don't have your
have it.
phone, and I don't know who has your phone.
Where are my
It's like,
dragons?
where is my Motorola?
Listen, it's in the House of the Undying. Quit bothering me.
It's that highborn thing. She's
A little
used
bit.
to, like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to talk
give
about
me my due. I deserve this.
Right.
I deserve, even though you closed this bar like 10 minutes ago, I deserve to order my lift from inside the bar, even though everyone else has to get their lift outside. No, I'm doing it inside.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm Daenerys Targaryen.
To quote...
Khaleesi of the great grass sea, blah, blah, blah.
Great
Mother of
glass screen, keeper of the Gold Coast, drinker of the White Claw.
sugar daddies.
Mother of sugar daddies. the princess of Prosecco.
Have we talked about Khal Drogo yet?
No, because
Oh, he'd be the worst.
He'd be pretty. Jason Momoa would.
Jason
be
Momoa would be the
fun.
best.
Oh,
Like
Jason
Khal
Momoa
Drogo.
would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Aquaman would be fun.
Aquaman's great. As we
Aquaman
saw.
was great. Do you remember
That was very cute.
The
That was one of
bikers
the-
asking to take the selfies with them. That was
no,
great.
and that was one of the cutest scenes.
And I think we do need to talk about the
Sir, can you please stop fucking the pool table? That's
I must mount the stallion.
Stallion that mounts the stool table.
I'm just picturing Khal Drogo just being plucked out of his reality and dropped into our world. It would be like Genghis Khan and Bill and Ted.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
So bringing it back to reality, like we haven't even talked about the Kit Harington getting like super
that
drunk
one
at the bar.
smashed.
And
You know what? And honestly,
I wouldn't have kicked him out.
no,
he was overserved.
Yeah.
But he's one of those, and you meet these guys. You meet them out in the States, obviously, but when you see a lot more of them, obviously, when you're in Britain, obviously, drunk British guys in Britain, it tends to go hand in. One usually follows the other, but he's one of those guys that's like, he's like those like aggressively nice drunk guys. Because remember, like he's reaching in that video. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a TMZ
I didn't know
video.
this happened.
There's a TMZ video where Kit Harington is fucking blasted in this bar, and he's like reaching across the table, like aggressively, like trying to get this guy's attention and grab his shirt, but it's because he wants to buy him a drink.
Oh God.
it's so great. No, it's like everybody was just like, yeah, he's like super wasted, but he's also just like, no, mate.
Mate, no, I love you. You want to come over, have a fucking drink? Like, come on, have a pint on me.
Morgan has seen me do this to people. No, not the Kit Harington thing. Morgan has seen me do that. Like if somebody's like that, what do? I look them dead in the eye and I say, "What?"
That was the best. Oh my God, that happened live the other night. I was working and Max was coming in, and one of your regulars
Yeah, he was
from
one of
the
my
other bar
pieces of shit.
came to my bar, and I'm like, oh, Max, this guy's real weird. And he's like, oh, he comes into my bar all the time. And he was doing that to you, and you just turn and you go, what? And he scurried off.
Scuttled. Have you ever seen a human being? He scuttled like one of the people
so good.
in Us. Like just.
I scurried away.
Nearest rock, and it was beautiful, and I was almost had a tear.
I feel like if Kit Harington did that to me, I'd be like, "What?" And then I'm like, "Oh, you're Jon Snow."
Bro.
What do you want, Jon
What?
Snow?
You're my lord, your grace.
What do you know tonight, Jon Snow?
No, I feel there's a thing. It's really not British people's fault because American bars we have dram shop laws, which means if I get you fucking wasted and you kill yourself in a car crash,
You could come back and
I
that comes
could
back
get
on you.
sued. Does it happen a lot? Not really, but it could.
The precipice is there.
It's
Plus,
there.
you get blackout drunk in England. You could just fucking.
They don't have the laws.
You can, even if you're like too drunk to drive, you could just like walk down a field and sleep in an abandoned castle.
Literally.
Right? There's castles everywhere. That's why Bran lives
I've
there.
been to Ireland, man. Like street naps.
They don't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the other thing. It's like in Ireland, like it's part of like a municipal law that if there's a building that's older than like 60 or 70 years old, you cannot tear it down.
Yeah.
You can only like buy that building.
Right,
You
yeah.
have to maintain that building.
I feel like, have you ever tried to explain a dram shop law to a wasted British person? Because I've had to.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Because they're like,
what is it your business?
in the UK, let's get wasted. And I'm just like, I would love to.
We just get pissed over there.
I'm sorry. Here's why I cannot, and I know I shouldn't be explaining, but sometimes a drunk person, if you give them a reason, they will back off, even if it's a dumb reason. But I'm like, there's American weird dumb laws.
It's one thing that you have to do. It's not, but if I want to drink myself stupid, love, I'm going to do it.
I would love to let them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do we got anybody else? Like, can we give a?
Well, I feel like we've been
Cersei. What would you do with Cersei?
Ooh, I'm too
She is
terrified to do anything.
She is the pissed off,
She takes it to a
staying
dark-
home,
yeah.
pill popping, wine drunk mom.
She takes it to a dark place. She's another one. It's like,
I don't think she would ever go to a bar.
She wouldn't go to a bar. She wouldn't
Yeah.
go to. She
No.
despises the public.
No.
She's so like, she's so like insular and. Not
yeah, I
wanting to
feel
fuck
like
with it.
women are getting the short end. Like, we don't have a lot of women care because it's like either they're traumatized and they take it to
I
a
would
dark
drink
place.
with Gilly.
I would drink with Gilly.
But I feel like Gilly
drink...
would have like 2.5 wines and be passed out in the corner with like baby Sam pushing her face in. Like,
oh no, I would drink with Rose Leslie. Fucking.
Ygritte would be
Ygritte would be a fun.
Ygritte would be fun.
She would be good. Oh, and also
Roz would be a ball.
Roz,
Asha.
Shay.
Ygritte, John.
Asha.
Who Ygritte is.
Redhead.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, totally.
Oh, wait, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. When I'm saying
be a
Asha, I
ball.
mean Yara.
Yara?
I mean
Yara would be
Yara
great.
would be
Yara be great.
Yara is probably be the most fun. Brienne of Tarth would be a
No,
good time.
Brienne
No.
does not drink. What are
She
you
does.
talking
Yeah,
about?
she would drink.
Yeah, but she's like very like.
She'd have
two, and then
she'd have a couple, and she'd let off, and she'd be the one to pay for the cab.
she'd be like Ned Flanders when he's like, "All right, give me a white wine spritzer."
I think she could lose, like, if it was an all-female situation where she felt safe, where she felt like she was the one in control, you could have, like, a girl sleepover with Brienne of Tarth and get her wasted and get her to be silly. And it would be the most hilarious thing, like, you've never seen. She's so funny.
Only one who thinks Jaime Lannister's cute.
Not even that. She would just, like, have a dry sense of humor that's, like, not even silly.
That's really cute. I actually
She
think that
would just like let loose around people that she trusted, and then never again. And you try to tell your friends, like, no, she
you
is
won't believe. You wouldn't
hilarious. You
believe
don't
how-
know. You
yeah.
don't know. And no one would ever know. It'd be
Right.
your little secret.
I think the Stark sisters would be a bummer.
No,
No,
it'd
they'd be
hor-
such
again,
a bummer.
dark place. They
Yeah,
take it.
they're no
yeah,
fun.
there's too much going on. You know what I mean? Like, and plus they, you know.
I mean,
But I guess I had the thing, like the whores at the Mole's Town, I think, no, number one, they like drinking. Sure. And I don't think their lives have been as dark as, like, most of the rest of Westeros. Because, like, they have all these, like, young Night's Watch boys who are kind of dumb coming down to them. So they're, like, have the upper hand. And they
Easily manipulated, probably.
Yeah, and they're like, we have a nice symbiotic relationship.
they're also probably pretty grateful for getting the sex because, like, you know, everybody else in Westeros is like just like taking the sex.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
you mean
I'm
the
just
way
standing
the
up.
Night's
I'm
Watch,
just standing
they're
up,
like,
looking at
You're
it.
my first time, and now I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
Mole's
Like, I'm not
Town
supposed to be
lady.
doing this, but like I'm just so grateful that you're here and it's available, and like, you know, so they're probably
Yeah.
not just going out being like, yeah, no, give me this.
And if you piss off the Mole's Town whore,
You got nothing
she
else.
could just be like, have
You get
fun.
cut off and then you're
have
done.
fun with whatever sheep or goat or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Every hole in the wall.
You're gonna find the crow that hangs out with
carve
Lord
into a
Mormont.
pumpkin, dude.
Right. Well, I don't know, man. I think we figured it out.
I think
know
we
that
did.
I think we are going to be drinking with a bunch of these characters because we're going to be on them YouTubes.
Yeah.
Like, just watching this thing
Jeez.
finally come to a head, man. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm kind of nervous.
I'm pretty.
I'm ready for it to happen.
I'm ready for it to happen. It's like going on a roller coaster. It's like, just fucking do it already. Like,
then
We're on the
edging.
ascent.
Yeah.
We're on the ascent, and then kind of once the thing starts going, then it's just going to be over before we know
That
it.
first spot where you hit that
Yeah.
first drop,
right
yeah.
over the arch, and then
that'll
after
be
that,
that'll be the finale.
and then
Yeah.
it'll be done before we know it. You know.
I've never been into edging, and this has been like edging for an entire year, and it's no.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to pull Game of Thrones on the night of the premiere. Enjoy these reruns of Arliss.
Oh my god!
What if?
Perfect.
Oh, I like that.
Oh man! Thanks a lot for listening, y'all.
Thank you, guys.
If there's a character that you think you would want to drink with and you want to tell us about it, hit us up on watchersinthebar@gmail.com.
Who'd we miss? You know?
Yeah, exactly. We'd love to hear from you.
Someone.
I had to have missed somebody. There's 8,000 characters.
Yeah, there's so many characters. If you like what you hear, give us a rating on the old Apple Podcasts. We only accept 5 stars.
Only
yes.
5 stars. 5 stars, and we'll send you an internet shot.
Yeah.
And it's an internet shot.
Yeah.
Where I just send you an email and I'm like, this one's on me, kids.
A picture of a shot.
Yeah, right. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.